Hello everyone. Today I would like to tell you a short talk on situation. The speaker announced to the customer they were having sale on specialty coffee, and he suggested getting to pounds of coffee for the price of one. Next, he said all of their South American and Central American blends were on sale, and the coffee was available whole bean all around. Finally, he said coffee were located on Isle near to the produce station, and there were limits for pounds per customer. First, the speaker said hello to passengers, and she introduced to uh, that were the Green Line trains to the airport. Next, she reminded them that the specially marked seats near to the doors were reserved for physically challenged passengers, and she said smoking, eating, and drinking was not allowed. Finally, he announced the next stop, Central Square, and she suggested traveling there to the Blue Line for all upstart destinations. First, the speaker reminded all members of soccer teams that the bus to the outdoor games would leave from the front of the school at 3:15. Next, he suggested being on the bus and ready to go by then. After that, he announced the computer club would meet in the auditorium that day, and the Spanish club would meet in the cafeteria. Finally, he said due to the illness of several of its members, the graduation dance committee meeting had been postponed until the following week. First, the speaker said hello to her friend, and she thought her friend had already left home. Next, she said she was leaving the gym then, and she had to raise workout, and she was hungry and looking forward to dinner. After that, she suggested not being late because it, it would take her about 20 minutes to get to the restaurant because she was walking because she didn't want to have to park the car. Finally, he said goodbye to her. First, the speaker suggested moving to the bed, and he announced the fare was $1.50 exact change only. Next, he suggested standing behind the white line and moving away from the door because he couldn't go anywhere until they let him close the door. Finally, he says the next stop, Fifth Avenue and the downtown shopping district. First, the speaker said to the visitor, to their right were several paintings by Picasso, and close examination showed her the fine brushwork he had used. Next, he said those paintings represent some of Picasso's last known work and were among their more recent acquisitions. After that, he said they would take a restaurant break and continue on the second floor galleries where we would view works by mid-19th century artists. Finally, he suggested starting in the East Room, which housed their collections of pastoral landscapes. First, the speaker announced to the people the party of four and their table were ready then, and she suggested follow her. Next, she's sorry to have kept him waiting because she was very busy that night. After that, she said they had reserved a place for him by the window with the view of the water. And finally, he suggested hanging her coats right over there, and she wanted to know if he would like to order drinks or appetizer first. First, the speaker reminded all swimmers to get out of the water immediately because dangerous thunderstorms were approaching. Next, he asked parents to keep an eye on their children, and he said there would be no running and no horsing around near the pool, or they might have to ask him to leave. Finally, he suggested staying away from the pool until the lifeguard indicated that it was safe to return to the water. First, the speaker got the customer's attention, and she announced they would be closing in a few minutes. Next, she suggested bringing the books they wished to borrow to the checkout desk then, and she reminded them all books checked out that day were due back on the April 15th. After that, she said there were a late fee of 25 cents a day, but they could renew their books before their due date by calling 6670923. Finally, he thanked them for their patronage and suggested coming back again soon. First, the speaker said hello to his friend, and he said he had been waiting for him there at the airport, and he wanted to know what happened because his friend had been supposed to pick him up. Next, he said his friend was not at the airport and he was not at his office, so he wanted to know where he was. Next, he hoped his friend was not on his way then because he was going to take a taxi to the office. Thank you for listening.